The searing heat of Tatooine's twin suns often brings a deceptive calm, but beneath that calm, for many years, Obi-Wan Kenobi carried an internal firestorm, a relentless burning of guilt and loss. We saw him utterly broken, defeated, and buried in the sand during his early re-encounters with Darth Vader. That initial brutal reunion wasn't just a physical loss, it was a soul-crushing confirmation of his deepest fears, of the monster Anakin had become, and the role Obi-Wan believed he played in it. He was drowning in the weight of Mustafar. Mustafar, a name that echoes with the cries of a dying friendship, the crackle of lava, and the desperate, heartbreaking plea of a master to save his apprentice. On that scorching landscape, Obi-Wan fought not to kill Anakin, but to stop him, to save him, even from himself. He couldn't deliver the final blow then, not truly, because the love and the grief were too immense. He left Anakin for dead, a choice that haunted his every waking moment for a decade, poisoning his connection to the Force and making him a shadow of his former self. Every thought of Anakin Skywalker, every flicker of memory was tainted by profound failure. When Vader finally cornered him again on Mapuzo, Obi-Wan was still fighting that same ghost. He was still trying to wrestle with the specter of Anakin, still burdened by the belief that he had to somehow atone, to fix what was broken. And because of this emotional paralysis, this inability to move beyond the past, Vader dominated him. He was pummeled, choked, dragged through fire, a stark visual metaphor for the burning hell of his unresolved grief. He wasn't fighting for anything new. He was stuck in a desperate, futile attempt to rewrite history. And history, in the form of Vader, almost consumed him. But then something shifted. The desperation of protecting Leia, the faint whispers of Qui-Gon Jinn, the rekindled connection to the living Force, these elements began to mend the fractured pieces of Obi-Wan's spirit. He wasn't just fighting from his past anymore, he was beginning to fight for a future. It wasn't about saving Anakin, it was about protecting what Anakin, as Vader, sought to destroy: hope, innocence, and the burgeoning future of the Skywalker lineage. When he finally confronted Vader again, after all the trials and the quiet moments of introspection, the air crackled with a different kind of tension. This wasn't the desperate, guilt-ridden fight of Mustafar, nor the broken capitulation on Mapuzo. This time, Obi-Wan was calm. His movements, while powerful, were controlled, almost elegant. He moved with a renewed sense of purpose, deeply connected to the Force, not out of raw power or anger, but out of a profound sense of duty and a newfound clarity. Vader, however, was still trapped. He was consumed by rage, by a relentless need for revenge, still fighting his past, the one he blamed Obi-Wan for. He was a force of destruction, a being entirely defined by what he had lost and what he wanted to inflict. And in this critical distinction, the true inversion of Mustafar became clear. Obi-Wan no longer sought to save Anakin. He no longer believed he could. He had accepted a devastating truth. Anakin Skywalker was truly gone, consumed by the darkness. This acceptance, this letting go of the ghost of his friend, was his ultimate high ground. It wasn't a physical elevation, but a spiritual and emotional one. It allowed him to see Vader for what he was, a separate entity, a manifestation of evil, not the boy he once knew. When Vader, in a moment of raw, desperate anger, screamed, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did," Obi-Wan's response was not one of shock or renewed guilt, but of profound, sorrowful acceptance. "Then my friend is truly dead." This line was the turning point, the moment of ultimate release. It wasn't a battle cry, it was an elegy. He wasn't fighting to defeat Anakin, but to stop Vader. He wasn't fighting out of guilt, but out of a clear understanding of the present danger. His subsequent victory wasn't about physical destruction. He didn't cut Vader down. Instead, he shattered his mask, revealing the tortured half-machine face of his former apprentice, and then chose not to deliver the killing blow. This choice was the ultimate triumph of his renewed spirit. He had transcended the personal vendetta. He had accepted the past, mourned what was lost, and now looked to the future. By walking away, by letting Vader live, Obi-Wan was not showing weakness, but demonstrating an immense strength of character. He had defeated Vader not by killing him, but by denying him the power to emotionally destroy him. He had found peace, leaving Vader alone with his in turmoil. This was Obi-Wan's true victory, achieving the high ground not through a tactical advantage, but through emotional and spiritual liberation. He fought to protect, not to avenge. He accepted the truth, released the guilt, and finally, truly let go of the past. His power was no longer rooted in his pain, but in his purpose. And in that shift, he became the Jedi Master he was always meant to be, ready to guide the future. What are your thoughts on Obi-Wan's transformation? Did this confrontation resonate with you as a powerful moment of acceptance and letting go? Share your insights in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this discussion, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more explorations into the galaxy far, far away. Until next time, may the Force be with you.